he went a bit too far.
Watson failed to prove he acted in self-defense. Records show the victim suffered a face fracture, a concussion, and 2 black eyes. As part of the plea deal, Watson must go to counseling and avoid drugs and alcohol.
One is we need to serve a restraining order on you.
What's a restraining order?
What's that?
What's a restraining order? What's a restraining order? Everything will be
domestic violence restraining order.
Nothing domestic violence will ever happen.
What's that?
Nothing like that ever happened.
But Watson's legal troubles are not over. In Broward County, he's accused of severely beating a woman, leaving her momentarily blacked out, according to records.
Fam, what's going on, man? It's your boy, E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast. Today, I'm doing a reaction video of Wes Watson being sentenced to prison again. So before we go ahead and check out this video, may y'all do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and let's go ahead and check out this video as Wes Watson gets sentenced to prison again.
Well, South Florida fitness social media influencer has pleaded guilty to beating a New Jersey man inside a Miami gym. Today, the influencer accepted a plea deal that includes more than just prison time. NBC6's Christian Colon explains.
Nothing matters but what we have to do today.
On social media, convicted felon Wesley Watson, known online as Wes, promotes himself as a motivational speaker and fitness influencer. Now he has another conviction on his record.
First and foremost, bro, I don't feel like this is cool at all. You know what I mean? I don't celebrate. I don't even like doing reaction videos to anybody being sentenced to prison. Of course, my aim and my intent on this channel is to share the full, authentic experience of what it's like being incarcerated, from the good, chaotic, violent, extortion, crazy, but also most importantly, the redemptive, transformative. Because if you don't know my story, man, throughout 12 years of incarceration is where Jesus Christ radically transformed my life at my lowest point in life, in the middle of my prison bed. So I just want to go ahead and clarify that, bro, because I hate seeing Wes Watson or anybody at that go to prison, man. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And of course, man, for those of you watching, for those of you who I'm sure probably know, yo, Wes Watson was like the GOAT when it comes to prison content. Him and 23 and 1, Lockdown 23 and 1. Shout out to my dog, man, 23 and 1. Y'all go ahead and at him in the comments, man, because that's my dog. But yeah, bro, he was like pretty much the originator pretty much of prison content, I think. You know, I think he may have been doing it before 23 and 1. Let me know if I'm wrong. And then he transitioned into doing like lifestyle coaching, to where he would have like a lot of training and things like that, like online courses and things like that, of course, and all the other stuff, you know, that went along with his career. You know, I'm not going to go into the details on that, but I'm just clarifying as we continue to watch this video. By no means do I find it cool at all about him going to prison again, and it sucks, bro. I hate to see anybody going.
Adjudicated guilty, which is a criminal conviction on your record, you would be sentenced to 21 months state prison with credit for all time served, which would be followed by 7 years of probation.
Watson pleaded guilty to beating a man from New Jersey inside a Miami gym in December of 2024. Police say the victim confronted Watson. The two argued, and after the victim pushed him, investigators say Watson responded by repeatedly striking him with a weightlifting belt.
I don't think there was any dispute at the beginning of this that Wes was initially able to use force.
Okay, that's one thing I really don't understand. Why is he being sentenced to prison if the victim was the one who started the physical altercation in the first place? That guy in the gym, they said specifically pushed Wes Watson. And then, of course, you know, he beat him up, and I guess he was hitting him with a weight belt. Maybe it's because he was excessive, you know what I mean? But I still don't understand why he's being sent to prison, you know, whenever the guy in the gym pushed him. You feel like a lot of times celebrities, they become targets for people. They want to rage bait them. They want to go ahead and go viral and get some media clips. So it's crazy that he actually is getting sentenced to prison behind a guy who's pushing him first. So 21 months with credit for time served. I believe he's probably been fighting his case now, I think, since the beginning of the year. So he's probably got maybe 6 or 7 months in. So he'll probably only do maybe a little over a year in Department of Corrections in the state of Florida, and probably less because of gang time. But 7 years paper, dang, that sucks. Hopefully he gets early termination, but still, it sucks.
The tricky part of this case is, when does that force need to be exercised and stopped? And perhaps at this point, he went a bit too far.
Watson failed to prove he acted in self-defense. Records show the victim suffered a face fracture, a concussion, and 2 black eyes. As part of the plea deal, Watson must go to counseling and avoid drugs and alcohol.
One is we need to serve a restraining order on you.
What's a restraining order?
What's that?
What's a restraining order? What's a restraining order? Everything will be
domestic violence restraining order.
Nothing domestic violence will ever happen.
What's that?
Nothing like that ever happened.
But Watson's legal troubles are not over. In Broward County, he's accused of severely beating a woman, leaving her momentarily blacked out, according to records.
Oh, I see. That's what I was about to ask, because I remember that he's being accused, I think, of like taking his wife or his fiance, whoever, like maybe hostage or kidnapping or like domestic violence or something like that. I remember seeing that. So apparently we'll continue to watch here in a second, but apparently he's still fighting that case. But as they said before, that's clarifying of why, you know, he got sent to prison, because I guess to prove self-defense, you couldn't be so excessive. But I think that's bogus, bro. If somebody comes up and put their hands on you, I feel like you kind of should have legal right to beat the brakes off of them. Of course, not to like take their life, but I mean, if you whoop somebody bad, but hey, if they're the ones who put their hands on you first, some people click, you know what I mean? And him doing all that time in prison, bro, that could be like PTSD. I'm surprised he wasn't able to like share that in his defense. So that's kind of crazy. Still got sentenced to prison for somebody who pushed him first. But what are you guys' thoughts, man? Like, how do you feel about that? If somebody was to push you and then you were to beat the brakes off of them, don't you think like, yo, you should have the legal right to do so? Or do you feel like, nah, there is a balance between like, all right, self-defense. Okay, then, but what would self-defense be? It's like pushing them back or saying, get away from me, or hitting them once, you know? So I don't know. I think that's kind of bogus. Let me hear y'all's thoughts in the comments.
This case remains open.
And the victim's attorney did not respond to our request for comment, but records do show the victim filed a civil lawsuit seeking $50,000 in damages against the gym and Watson. Today, Watson's civil attorney says this case should be dismissed. Christian Colon, NBC6 News.
All right, see, that's obvious, bro. Of course, the gym know Wes Watson is a millionaire, so of course they're trying to do some type of lawsuit. They're trying to get some type of money, and that's just disgusting in and of itself. All right, so let's talk about Wes Watson going to prison. So first of all, I'm curious to know right now, I believe he's in the Broward County Jail. I wonder if he's in GP, or I wonder if they have him on administrative confinement. For those of you who don't know what that is, right? So you got general population, which is where any convict goes when they go to jail or prison, and then you got PC, which is like protective custody. That's people who are scared. They don't want to be in general population for whatever reason. They may have bad paperwork. They may have some crazy charges. They may have some conflict on the compound with some other convicts or whatever, so they go to protective custody. But then you got administrative confinement. That means that you go to the SHU, you go to solitary confinement because you're under investigation for like maybe a relationship with staff, for having a phone, for some type of gang, you know, structured criminal enterprise, or the administration just doesn't seem fit for you to be in general population because you have a high profile case, because you are a very well-known gang member and there's opposing gang members on the compound and they don't want you or them to be hurt or whatever it may be. But I believe, to my knowledge, they can only hold you on administrative confinement for your protection for so long, and then you have the opportunity to say, no, bro, I don't want to be on administrative confinement. I don't need protection, you know, let me out. Because whenever I was in prison my last time, when I was in the county jail, for those of you who've been watching this channel, you know, but for those who don't, I share it with you. My last charge that sent me to prison, I was in a high-speed chase and I accidentally hit a police officer with my vehicle. Of course, the police made it seem like I purposely gunned down a police officer, hit him with my car, and tried to hit another cop. So whenever I was sent to the county jail, they were supposed to send me to a different county jail for my protection, but they didn't. They sent me to that same county jail to where I had my charges against that county's police deputies. So when they sent me to the county jail, they had me in administrative confinement for a few months as a high risk, you know, inmate with a yellow jumpsuit, because it was to protect me from the administration, from the staff at that county jail, because my charges were against, you know, the police of that county jail. And mainly because my case was so high profile, it wasn't to protect me from the general population, it was to protect me from the staff. But whenever they seen I was there for a few months, I wasn't causing any problems. You know, I had a broken leg still, so I was kept on the medical wing. So they did let me out of confinement and they put me in a medical pod until I started, you know, going crazy and getting into it with the police. And I was mad with all the time I was facing. And that's a whole nother story for another time. But I kept going back and forth to confinement. I got new charges for fighting other convicts. I kept getting extracted out of my cell from the police because I was just wilding out. But anyways, the whole point that I'm sharing that is, I wonder if Wes Watson is on administrative confinement right now, or I wonder if he's in general population in the county jail. And I wonder if they will allow him to hit GP, the mainline yard in the Florida prison in the state of Florida whenever he does go to prison, or I wonder if they'll try to keep him in administrative confinement because he's, you know, so famous. I'm sure like they'll probably have him administrative confinement at first, but if he wants to hit the yard, I'm sure he can go general population. But that would be crazy, bro. He would be hella famous all over the yard, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to find out what prison he goes to. I'll make sure that I keep updated whenever that happens. Again, by no means, bro, it sucks, man. I just see and I feel the pain for him, bro. Prison sucks, man. One day being separated from our children, families, and loved ones is one day too long. There's nothing cool about it, man. So, and of course, he's still fighting that other case as well. So I'll keep you updated on that as well. So look, fam, this your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast. And family, look, I got a fire HBO style series on the full episode playlist. It's a chronological journey of my 12 years in prison. It's called The Incarceration. Season 1 has been out, but Season 2 is just now coming out. But to access it, you become an all-access member to this channel. And this is a preview clip of Season 2 right here. Boom, boom, boom. All you hear in the cells when people are fighting is just lockers moving, bunks getting hit. You hear the fists, you know what I mean, hitting faces or being blocked, and people wrestling and people getting slammed. And it just sounds like a freaking war going on in a cell because it's such a small, confined space. And you just hear it time and time again. Not just that first day in the dungeon, but every day, all day. About 102 people, I believe, in K3 in the dungeon. I would say probably about 90 people gangbang is affiliated. Everybody in a different set, and all day, every day, fighting nonstop. And a lot of times it's not one-on-one. It's a lot of people getting jumped, a lot of 2-on-2s or 3s-on-5s, all day, every day. No exaggeration. When the police see the fighting, majority of the time, they won't even break it up, won't even look, won't even lock down the dorm, just put a blind eye to it and keep on going. Non-stop chaos, all day, every day. No exaggeration. Nothing but yelling, fighting, and occasionally stabbings. One thing I began to realize as well at JIT camp is that people had knives for sure, but they call them fence pokers. Little wire that people unravel off the fence posts, they sharpen it up on the floor, and it becomes a knife. But they're small and they're really scary. And also, if you didn't know, man, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music wherever you listen to your music at. Go to my artist YouTube channel, E.I. the King, to check out my music videos. Follow me on Instagram, E.I. the King, TikTok, E.I. the King, E.I. the King Official, and family. I got 3 other YouTube channels. My official artist channel, E.I. the King. Go check out my music videos. Real Crime Stories Unlocked. And my newest channel, Low Budget Traveling, where I'm sharing with you, all fellow convicts and everyday average American, that it is possible for you and I to travel abroad internationally on a low budget. All the links are going to be at the end of this video. Go ahead and click those links. It's going to take you to my new channels. Subscribe, follow, check out the content. It's fire. And family, we're on the journey to 100,000 subs. Right now we're at 60K. I appreciate all the day one viewers and day one subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Y'all do me a favor, go ahead and like this video, man. Y'all do me an even greater favor, man. Y'all go ahead and hype this video. And for all the convicts watching, man, if you done time in a county jail, state prison, federal prison, and you want to share your incarcerated experiences, email me at eithekingbooking@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at eitheking_. As I interview you, I'll post your interview up on this channel. If you got a YouTube channel, social media, whatever you want to promote, I'll allow you to promote it throughout the interview, and y'all go ahead and stay tapped in for more fire content to continue to come your way. It's your boy E.I. the King, and I'm out. Peace.